Hi, I'm Josh Schulte, Communications Director for the Kentucky School Boards Association. KSBA's annual federal and state law update is June 2nd from 9 a.m. until noon Eastern. And while this is our 14th annual law update, it's the first to be hosted as a virtual conference. And what does that mean for you? It means that school board members, superintendents, and other education leaders may join us from the comfort of your home or your offices. So this is an opportunity for anyone to participate, and distance is not an issue. Joining me via Zoom are four knowledgeable members of KSBA's staff who will be presenting at this year's law update. We have KSBA Director of Advocacy, Eric Kennedy, Director of Policy and E-Meeting Services, Katrina Kenman, Senior Policy Consultant and E-Meeting Trainer, Amanda Hale, and KSBA Staff Attorney, John Fogle. And Eric, the 2020 general session came to a rather early and abrupt end due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But nevertheless, there are several legislative developments that impact school boards and the districts they serve. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of updates they can expect to hear during your legislative recap?
That's right. COVID-19 sort of took all of the attention away near the end, but before that really hit, several major bills passed this session that directly impact boards and district operations. We see some changes to the accountability system, to school board member training, and of course the state budget passed, which is critically important. So several bills are going to be a part of the update this year that we will go over on this training event.
And Katrina, you and members of the policy team are hard at work right now finalizing updates to district policies and procedures. So these updates are kind of fresh in your brains right now. What are some of the updates you'll be highlighting during the virtual conference?
Well, in conjunction with what Eric was saying, several things that came about directly from the legislative session, including some school safety policies from Senate Bill 8. We'll be addressing school resource officers and a requirement for them to carry a firearm now. There were also many changes to the Red Book in regulation back in the fall, so we will be addressing those as well in this update.
And Amanda, I imagine that KSBA's policy shop's phones are ringing off the hooks right now with questions related to COVID-19, but that won't really be the focus of your presentation at the law update this year, will it?
That's correct. While we know that's on the forefront of everyone's mind in the districts because it's a really complicated issue for them to handle with cleaning, reopening, and all of those kind of things that they have to be thinking about, we're not recommending permanent policy and procedure changes for this specific instance. We're instead recommending that districts follow the guidance that's been put out both by KSBA and the Kentucky Department of Education to influence how they make those decisions going forward.
And John, among other things you'll be offering at the law update is an overview of Open Meetings Act issues. Can you tell us a little bit about what you intend to cover?
Yes, Josh. One of the key parts of the Open Meetings Act is the right of the public to gather and observe a public meeting, and that's been significantly altered by the current emergency. We've got guidance from the Attorney General. We have an emergency bill, SB 150, that has permitted video conferences without the public gathering, as well as audio conferences. We have an Attorney General advisory, all of which has focused meeting bodies on meeting by video teleconferences or via other limitations. And so my intent is to go over those legal parameters and discuss maybe where we'll be headed. It's changing, seems like almost daily with the issuance of executive orders, executive guidance, but I think that would be useful for folks to hear that background and utilize that in holding their meetings.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack, and I appreciate the four of you giving us a little taste of what attendees can expect this year. Once again, KSBA's 14th annual federal and state law update is June 2nd from 9 a.m. until noon Eastern. This year's event will be held as a virtual conference. Event information and easy online registration can be found on KSBA's website at ksba.org. Register now because space is limited.